Hey, on today's episode, we are excited to have Josh Arnold and Barbara Snyder from Intermission, and they're going to talk about their upcoming concert at the Arts Council. Stay tuned. Welcome to Conversations with Creatives.
With the Arts Council ladies, I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Leslie, and we are excited to have these two very local, wonderful artists with us.
Very local.
Did I say very local?
Very
They
local.
are very local.
Very local.
Sorry about that.
As long as you didn't
It's okay.
say very
Put the
loco.
word
That's
very
there you
loco.
go.
You
There you
know,
go.
that might apply on some days too, huh?
Possibly.
That's
yes.
right. Barbara Snyder and Josh Arnold. They are with the band Intermission, and we're going to hear all about their villain origin story with the band and anything else they want to talk about themselves today. But we always start, and by the way, just a little tidbit of information for you. Josh Arnold is not only in this band, he is our board president. Yay!
Make sure you update those memberships.
That's right.
Please.
He's coming for you. So we appreciate him and all the work he does.
He's a lawyer. He will come to your house and make you become
Yes.
a member.
No, he will not.
You will get served.
He just
No.
No, but he does a lot for us, and we appreciate it. We're excited to have you, Barbara.
Thank you.
But we start with a very important question every week. So get ready for it. You're not prepped before for a reason.
Yeah.
Lindsay
Yes.
always finds our very important question. So
I do.
Let's go, Lindsay. What's our very important question of the day?
So our very important question, this is a hypothetical question, but if you two died, and you're going to die together in this scenario.
Out on the road.
If you were out performing, you died. This is like one of those Buddy Holly airplane situations, all that kind of stuff. So if you died together and you had a joint funeral together, what band would you want to come play at your joint funeral? They could be living
Any
or dead.
band.
Any band.
They'll say yes. So you get to dream.
Yes, at your funeral.
First of all, we cannot die together because we both work in a small town.
Yeah, that would be
And
pretty
there
bad.
will be rumors.
It would be stuck.
Oh, yeah.
we dove straight into the dark and the twisted here. No, that's totally fine.
You've met him. You know I'm not going to get to pick, right? So what,
All right.
what band is playing at our funeral?
Well, you could have your dream band.
And it's living or dead.
living or dead.
You know, if I'm getting to pick, it's going to be Mac Davis.
I don't know who that is.
He's the guy who sings "Oh Lord, It's Hard to Be Humble."
Oh, yes.
That'll be the walkout music.
That'll be the. Oh, I love it. I love it.
So probably Mac Davis, and he would just sing that one song and leave because you would probably get a draw. I'm not going to have a lot of people at mine more than likely. And there may be a few people who come to check and make sure it's actually me in there, and then after that they're checking out. They're not hanging for the music.
Wow.
Okay, Barbara, who's going to be the opening act?
So
at
if
the-
he's going to pull Mac Davis, I'm going to pull something from Kenny G because he hates
Yes.
saxophone music, and then that way it's just a payback on the
Hate
way out the door.
saxophone music.
Thus began the haunting of whatever I need to haunt to pay people back
my
for
son
that.
can accompany him because he plays the saxophone.
Go.
Not all saxophones are bad, but Kenny Jesus is.
But Gabe and Kenny G are going to
bad.
bring
Gabe
this
and
funeral
Kenny G.
home.
This is going to be the worst funeral gig ever.
This is going to be
The Lord is hard to be
wildest
humble
funeral.
with.
It's well,
Played by Kenny G.
it reminds me of when they used to let me book music on Maine, but we're not going to.
Yeah, we've heard stories about that.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
not
That
enough
was-
time in the episode.
There's no.
There's not.
There might be.
That's right. We might make time for
But
that story.
But their budget has dramatically improved for
Yay.
talent buying, and that
Thanks
was
to
the goal.
you.
That's the goal. Sometimes,
Sometimes you
takes
just need
less
to hire a
than
couple of belly dancers
That's
to
right.
prove a point.
unique problems require unique solutions. And we're all about unique solutions.
That's a good lesson. This is our lesson for today, folks. Sometimes you need to hire a couple of belly dancers to prove your point.
Exactly.
To get some more money.
It's exactly right.
Yes. Well, we actually always answer the question too. So we got to think about. Sometimes I don't get to think about it, but
Yeah.
But today's we did.
So for our joint funeral,
Which would be, what'd you say, murder, homicide?
no,
That's what our joint funeral
that would just be both murder.
would be. She'd probably kill me.
It'd be murder
And then-
suicide.
Oh, that's what I mean.
Y'all watch a
suicide.
lot of like investigation
homicide.
discovery, right? Okay.
Yeah, murder, suicide.
It'd
That's
be a
what I
murder
mean.
suicide.
She would kill me and then feel so bad about it.
Or the other way.
Well,
Anyway,
you know.
so at our joint funeral, we would have Dolly Parton and Chapel Rome
Yeah.
performing together.
Dolly Parton.
That's a good call. That's a good call.
Exactly.
That's a good call.
And if Chapel Rome is not available, we'll take Sabrina Carpenter as well.
That's
So
right. And Dolly sang with her.
yeah, exactly. So it's a perfect match.
But Dolly's there no matter
so
what.
y'all got to come to our funeral if y'all are still alive.
That's right,
We'll come to
please.
yours,
It,
so.
that's the better ticket. It feels much less spiteful than
Lord, it's hard to feel.
than what I put together.
That's it right there.
Sing it together.
Oh, yeah.
Love it. Awesome. Well, we're just excited to have you guys. Thanks for joining us. We are more excited about this show coming up and album release.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's several years in the making, actually. But yeah, Sunday, October 5th
right.
at the Arts Council. What time are we starting? 4 p.m.
4 p.m.
4
Doors open
p.m.
at 3:30.
Doors open at 3:30. You can get your tickets online now. A lot of you have not, Mom.
Yeah.
So let's make sure we take care of that. She did share it on Facebook this morning, though.
Well,
so I
that-
think
that counts, yeah.
we need to move through that Mary Kay crowd and get those people to buy tickets. I have delivered enough makeup over the years that, like, if those people bought tickets, we're doing three.
Start
We're doing three
Start
shows.
telling your Sunday school friends.
That's right.
That's right. If you have Sunday school friends, yes, please tell them. If you don't have Sunday school friends,
Tell them anyway.
Tell
Yeah.
bar friends.
Ev-
Whatever.
right. I mean, this
friends.
is. I think the bar friends would appreciate it more, actually, because this is we put this together several years ago, just kind of on a whim. And our friends Sean Dietrich and Aaron Peters, who you
Yes.
may know, are on this album. They will be playing with us.
Yes, they will.
It will not be a Sean of the South show, but Sean will be there playing the piano with no other responsibilities. And if you've not seen Sean when he's not the one driving the bus, it gets wild back there.
It does.
Completely unfettered Sean Dietrich. So
That's right.
show up for that. It'll be worth the cost of admission. We're also going to be selling these massive autograph platters where you can get Sean's autograph.
or a smaller platter.
Everyone else in the band's autograph, yes, those also make good doorstops, table balancers,
And
things
you
like
don't have
that.
a CD player anymore.
That's right.
Right.
Because our cars don't want us to listen
Yeah.
to all 5,000
Right.
CDs I still have.
Right. But there's,
Yeah.
when we designed these, and shout out to Kelly Brazier, the bass player, Todd's wife,
Oh, yeah.
who designed all this. A lot of tactile experience in doing this. So you need to buy a copy of both so you can see all the wonderful design work that went into this. But yeah, we cut this just on a whim. It's the majority of it is redback hymnal music. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I've heard a few.
50% of this iteration of the band grew up Church of God. We won't tell you which 50. But watch the beverage cooler, and you can probably figure out which 50% did. And we're cool with the other ones. They're good Baptist guys as far as we know, and we don't ask questions. But we all grew up with this music. This is the stuff that it's ingrained in the DNA. And so we sat around, we were just having a conversation with all of these folks, because we do kind of like to hang out with each other and not do work or, things. And we thought it'd be cool to put this together because Todd and I know for years have had conversations about what we'd really like to see, with that music, that particular music, and interpretation of that is something like if you got, the world's best bar band to play it, or, if Buck Owens and the Buckaroos redid redback hymnal music, Willie Nelson and the Family Band did it. And so we had this crazy idea, and somehow or another, we got everybody together on the Saturday of MLK weekend a couple of years ago at Jack Dudley's basement. Shout out to Jack and Donna for use of the space.
Yeah.
And Phil Dudley for recording and producing all of this stuff. Phil does a fantastic job. This is this is an Arts Council project.
Yeah.
And we tracked everything in one day. So everything you hear on here are live takes, no overdubs, no punch ins. And we did it in about 14 hours. I don't think we'll do it that way next time.
Never again. With the same group? Yes, not the same.
But for this experience, it was a really, really cool deal. And we all felt okay about it after we left, as okay as you can feel.
You were all still friends after
right.
you left.
We were all still friends.
Most important.
And we all showed up the next day to kind of look at, okay, where do we need to fix? What do we need to patch? And we got through several of them, and everybody was, it was a little odd because there wasn't really anything we could spot to fix. Not that we played it perfectly, but the creation itself was like, that's good, don't mess with it. And so, you know, that awkward kind of deal, like, have we done something really cool here? Like, did we mess up and really get this right? And the moment we knew we did, we all know and love George Dudley, who I think ought to probably have his own podcast at some point, or have like a cut-in segment, like, you know, one of those guys on John
George.
I love it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
we would have to make a warning.
Like an explicit warning or
This may be PG-13 or above.
might be a lot of bleeping.
We'll talk to the board president and the board attorney, the board pro bono attorney, to get clearance for
There you
George.
go, good.
But George had an accident the week before we did this. This was when the leg break was fresh.
Wow.
Like, just got the scooter. He was not, you know, George Knievel that we know and love. This was like George trying to figure out how to move through life.
Yeah.
And so we're 3 or 4 songs into the listen back and feeling just strangely good about it all. And then George shows up. So we get George in, check on George, make sure he's kind of comfortable and situated. And we all know George is going to listen. And if you don't know George, George's opinion is exactly what it is.
And it's always ready to go.
Yeah.
There's no filter.
No.
It's very much just that push button, like whatever you push, that's what you're absolutely going to get. I was very nervous. I mean, so I think everybody probably was, but everybody kind of, you know, tended to George, whatever else, to the point that that Phil, and I may be spilling the family business here, but Phil finally turned around and looked and he goes, "Are we done playing with George? Can we get back to work?" Like, don't anger, you know, don't mess this up, you know, don't mess this up. We listened to the
The vibe is good right now.
yeah, and so we listen back, and it's like there's silence for like an awkwardly long amount of time, 10 seconds or so, and we're all waiting to see what George does. Because we see that his eyes are open, he's paying attention, he's listened to this. And he kind of turns his head a little bit to the side and says, "Well, that don't suck."
There you go.
And at that moment,
That is the highest compliment,
Highest compliment.
he can give you.
see, and y'all know that.
We
So
know that.
We didn't talk about this beforehand. Everybody knows when George tells you that, that's you're done. And so for the rest of this process, it was fun. It was like we're listening, we're taking a few notes. That's
right.
And ultimately what we decided is we had the takes and we picked them, and everything on this album is probably at most a second or third take of a tune. No overdubs, no punch-ins. This is a live album.
Wow.
And it was just a really, really cool experience to get to do that.
Yeah.
And then, you know, our first album we released in the middle of a pandemic. So we'll have those for sale too.
That's right.
There at the show. That's all original
Different
music.
story, huh?
Right. Different story. All original tunes there except for one, which is actually a Redback hymnal tune that we did. And that's kind of what got this whole thing started. But it was a fun process. We had a blast with it, and I mean the first track on the album is what we did to warm up, and that's the take. So I mean that was a one shot deal, and you know, for people who've ever tried to put something together like this, playing live is one thing, but when you sit down and like people are recording, it goes just straight out the window. Nothing ever sounds right. So the fact that we got this diverse group of individuals together, diverse group of personalities and temperaments, and it just clicked. Everything about it clicked, and it was just loads of fun.
That's so
we're
fun.
looking forward to sharing that.
Good.
And it sounds great on vinyl, by the way. So
Just
you should
FYI.
pick that
That's
up.
right. I know Dakota will get one. He always
absolutely.
wants
Yeah.
his vinyl for sure, and then plays it and has a vibe in the theater on days. It's pretty cool.
There's a thing, and I mean if you don't mind if we look at it, or
No, go for it.
because you know we kind of came up with a list of stuff that we just thought was
Right.
you know indicative of when we were growing up listening to this. So the front's pretty cool. The back has the old attendance board
Yes.
with the songs.
Some of those too.
I'll go ahead and
yeah.
throw this out there. I'll give a free copy of either the record or the CD to the person who can figure out what the numbers actually are on the
Yes.
board. If you can figure that out, family members excluded. So
Mine as well.
if you can figure out what those numbers actually are,
Is it how long the songs last?
well, we can't talk about it now. You're not
Cheating.
You're not eligible to win.
You mean I'm not eligible?
No, you're not
No,
eligible.
you are not eligible
No.
as an employee.
Not at all.
So we've got that on the back, and then the inside we thought was really cool because sometimes you just get kind of a cheesy liner on the inside.
Yeah.
But what we did it like a tithe envelope. So if you grew up in certain church, these were the things that you played hangman on in the back of during church when you're supposed to be listening. And so we've got our credit stuff listed out there like that. And then on the back, we're going to pretend we were good note takers at church. And so what we've got are actually, the handwritten, titles and writers and, the status of the copyright owners who we've all
The
paid.
best part.
Break
So,
this to get it out.
so we have
Oh, you're
that.
not going to.
And then
We know where there's some more.
And we have a photo in the
Yeah.
Black Box Theater inside of it.
this CD's really cool. Shout out to Butch Oglesby for that photo. We use his photographs in this stuff. He was definitely cool with us doing that. He takes great photos.
He's amazing.
So you've kind of got that tithe envelope vibe on the CD,
That's
on the
genius.
interior. And then the coolest part we like is that the vinyl is actually red like the hymnal. So it's kind of a
Ooh.
if you're familiar with these things,
Yes,
this ought
for
to
sure.
this ought to hit that nostalgia button
That does
pretty
hit
hard.
it. That
So,
does hit it hard.
if you
Little PK here.
Right, that's
Growing up
right.
on all those
Yeah.
hymns. Yeah,
Oh, and
absolutely.
how about the fuzzy microphone?
I know,
yeah.
absolutely. I love the fuzzy. I sang in those a lot as a little kid. And, yep, absolutely.
Did you ever wonder who had sang in it before you? And-
As a kid, no, I wasn't worried about germs as much.
But
then.
like that was pre-COVID.
Right,
Oh, that's
exactly.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you're kind of
In certain churches, you knew if the music minister dipped wintergreen or not because you could
yeah.
smell it on the
Mike.
thing, right? If you've ever.
Man, that's gonna
That's
be
not my church.
That's right. That's gonna be such a cool show. Now let's go backwards a little bit. Tell us about. I know we don't need the cover. Whatever. Tell us about y'all's villain origin story. How y'all
How did
came to-
a retired principal and
Yes.
a lawyer start making
well at the
music
time
together?
you weren't a retired. Yeah. Tell us
You were
about
a
it.
principal when I first met you.
Yes, I was the assistant principal
Yes.
when we first started doing music together.
Okay.
So we had a talent show at the school, a teacher talent show. And I was going to sing to a track, and then he played at the talent show. And I think it was the first time that we realized that each other, I knew that he played in the band at his church, but I don't know that he knew that I sing.
And no offense to church musicians, but I mean, like we talked about the saxophone earlier, there's definitely church sax, and then like, John Coltrane. So like, you hear people are church musicians, you're like, that's cool.
Yay,
That's
good
cool.
for you.
Yeah, but
So he played at the teacher talent show, and then shortly after that, or it may have been a little bit longer down the road, but I was invited to sing at Music on Main. And at the time, I only sang to tracks because I didn't have anyone that played for me at
Sure.
church. And so I thought, I will ask him if he can learn some of the songs that I sing, and that way we can make that work. And he obliged. He said he would, and probably knew most of them already. Most of them were not Christian music, though. Do what?
I did not know
May
most.
not. But if you've ever watched him, he can learn a song in about,
But you guys were probably playing after the belly dancers went on. so-
Right.
No. This was well before. This is one of those gigs where the budget was like $200. Bring your own sound system.
Oh, this
so
was well before. Okay.
So should I launch off into the entire story?
I think we could probably keep it brief. We could do the Reader's Digest version.
So I was asked to sing, and I didn't have enough. So it was for 3 hours. I didn't have enough material
Wow.
to do that.
Yeah.
So my coworker had a son that had a band, and so I had said something to him about would he want to sing a few songs too.
Sure.
And he was interested, and so he went and talked to the organizer at the time. He went and met with her by himself and talked with her about possibly having some of that time. And by the time it was showtime, it was that band, and then Intermission was when I was supposed to sing, and then that band again. So that's how we started kind of.
You were singing during intermission.
Right. We got the schedule, and I said, "Oh, I guess we're intermission," and
There you go.
have not been able to scrub that off for going on 13 years.
That's-
So Careful with the sarcasm, kids. It can stick.
That's right.
So, and that's what I get for sending him to talk to her by himself, which he was a looker now, cutie. I understand. But all of a sudden it was like, wow, that changed in a hurry.
And
You don't have to pay for 3 hours. You get 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But from that one tale, we get obviously the issues with maybe understanding a good budget for talent when you have events and things like that. So there's so much kind of wrapped up in that one little moment there.
Right.
And what we learned is this: it's not a great band name because people see you on the bill and they get up and obviously go to the concession stand, go to the restroom, whatever. But the flip side of that is every time there's an event listed anywhere you've ever played,
We're there.
it's on the schedule. And people go, "Hey, are y'all playing here?" We're like, "No, not yet."
No.
That actually is a break. It's not really us. But you always get the ask, and you're always out there. So probably on balance, it's kind of even on
It's kind
that.
of worked for your
Every show that I've gone to with family,
Right.
even like going to the ballet or whatever, they'll say we're about to have a brief intermission. And
Right.
the whole family will turn and look like, I'm like, no.
No,
guys are
that's
here
not us.
too?
No, not us. That's great. Now, did you grow up singing,
Yes,
Barbara,
ma'am.
in church?
I
And
did.
I know you say your kids are musical there in the band.
They
and
are. They were.
just family music.
Just singing in the car
Sure.
is pretty much the extent of the music.
Okay.
But in church, I was in
Sure.
the kids choir and
Yeah.
the youth choir and stuff. I'm not trained, and I trained musician, but loved it. Just grew
Yeah.
up singing and Pentecostal roots, and
There you go.
grandparents that lived in Texas. So they were several states away. So it was like you would record something and send because they never got to hear you sing in
Yes,
church,
right.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Man, that's what's always been cool about like American Idol and shows like that. Like the kids that grew up singing in church, they've had so much more experience than, I mean, where else do you sing if you don't grow up singing in church as a kid?
You don't have a music program in your
Right.
town or something, or your school. Or
And I grew up in small school America, so we didn't really have that
Yeah,
where I
sure.
was growing up, but church was the foundation for
Exactly.
everything.
And Josh, when did you start?
I started off as a drummer. And I couldn't afford a drum set. It was $900 when I decided I really needed something to play. And a buddy of mine had his sister's guitar. She got married and moved out. He needed speakers for his car. And it was not the
and
cool.
here we are.
You're right. And literally here we are. Like he said, "How much money do you have?" I said, "I got $120." He said, "I can do 140." And so I bought a pretty crappy guitar from him and haven't put it down since. I was 15, I think.
Cool.
So at that point, obviously, I mean, other context clues, but athletics went completely out the window. Schoolwork kind of went out the window. I wound up getting kicked out of beta club the last semester of high school because, I just couldn't put it down. And it was fun. And again, very fortunate to grow up in a church environment with just brilliant musicians who, and I mean, of course, Todd's in the group, and he, I mean, just is just phenomenal musician. Plays with Sean and Aaron, in that grouping, and just so happy that that's worked out. But just always been very fortunate to be around fantastic musicians and. For people who don't know the difference, Church of God, Church of Christ, Church of God, we're the ones with the drum sets and the amplifiers.
Yeah.
So
Church of Christ is
And
not.
Church of Christ is not.
yes.
What I went to a Church of Christ church one time because one of my friends is a pastor there, and when I tell you the shock on my face when they're like, "We're going to start playing music," and there's no music, and I'm like, "What are we doing? We just have to sing. Our voices have to." That was,
You're making a joyful noise.
it was
right.
that
That's
was
exactly right.
wild for this Methodist.
That's right.
That's it. And Church of God kept Peavy in business for a long time. Everybody in the '80s had those Mississippi Marshals,
That's
right?
right.
So we love that stuff.
So funny.
But you just growing up playing there, and then in lots of embarrassing bands since then with people that we're not going to discuss. But just really glad to have come back around to this kind of stuff because it's just one of those things that checks all the boxes.
Right.
It hits all the right points in
Right.
doing this, and it was just super cool thing to do.
It's like back to your roots, huh?
That's exactly
Yeah.
I love it. Now, you said Todd Brazier. It's so fun. He plays, I think, with every band ever.
Everywhere I go, I see him.
And you don't, he's so unassuming and he's just there. And
Yes.
it's just- you hear the music and you're like, oh, yeah, we do have bass up there. Oh, yeah. It's so
That's
funny.
Todd.
That's Todd.
Todd.
And his son, Jed, is quite the opposite.
Yes. Man, and listen, any dinosaur related questions, he's got it down.
Right?
But, growing up around Todd and also around Jack Dudley, George's brother, Phil's dad, just two of the best bass players you're going to find anywhere. I mean, like, I didn't realize how spoiled I actually was until you kind of go out and, again, you play with other groups, you do other things, and like, hey, this is so and so, he's the bass player, and you hear it, and like, wow, that's okay.
You're like,
Good.
you're not a Dudley.
You're holding the instrument. That's not quite what I'm accustomed
Hit
to.
a note every couple of measures.
And
huh?
they're not holding an instrument they made either, like,
Right.
like Jack Dudley did. So.
Right, and so it's it's that deal where just the amount of talent that's in this area, but also
Right.
who have kind of coalesced around the Arts Council is just super phenomenal. It's just it's really nice how it's all come together. And again, as I guess as an officer of that organization, thrilled with all the things we do, and encourage you to buy a membership for you and your
right.
family.
But
Exactly.
to be fair, you were thrilled before you were
That's
an officer
right. You
because
were.
your son is taking
Always
drum
thrilled,
lessons
yeah.
with us.
I mean, yeah, my kiddo took drum lessons, and that's another cool component of this is kind of how you keep it going. Because I mean, I played these tunes as a drummer, not just with Todd, but with his grandmother, which is just played the shape notes out of the hymnal. Couldn't read the actual value of the note, but could read the shapes.
Yeah.
Played in any key. Brilliant stuff. And I got to play music with them, and that was really cool. And now that Graham has decided he really is kind of into the drum thing for sure, after all the money on lessons that didn't seem to take, they did. Hanging their parents, they do. They pay attention.
Yay.
He's playing music with us, with
cool.
with me and Todd
Yeah.
every weekend, and he's learning this stuff too. And he's now learning this stuff. It may not be the newest thing out there, but musically, this is where you go to learn this stuff. I mean, this is where you get an education as a musician playing this stuff, and he digs it because I mean he's a cool kid,
Yeah, he is a
or
cool
will be one day at some point.
He's a cool kid.
On his way to being a cool kid, but yeah, so it's that continuation of all of that stuff that's just so neat to see, and you get to do that with people that you like.
Yeah.
Not to mention that feeds your soul.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
And do y'all write a lot of your music too and perform original things and
Yeah, that first album. Yeah, that first album is full of original stuff. You do most of the lyrics, really. I'd record music, put it in a Dropbox thing, and then lyrics would just magically show up,
Yeah.
right? And they were really cool. I'm like, okay, that's nice. Couple on there that I did the lyrics for, but yeah, for the most part, we just kind of sit down and hash that stuff out. There's a positive spin on this car trip that earlier ended in our mutual funeral. when you are trekking back and forth to gigs and things like that, that's kind of when you talk about it. Like I've just got a little notebook that I keep in my briefcase. I'll just pull it out and be like, here, look at this. It's like sharing your diary with somebody, kind of.
Right.
But you go looking through it, and it's like, okay, what can can you do anything with this? Or she'll text me something and say, hey, what do you think about this? And so that's just put it together. And
Or I text him and say, I can't sing that line.
right. Sometimes
right.
we get that, like you're going to have to sing it if it's going to get sung, and so
I can't sing that line.
those don't get sung sometimes, but have fun with that. But yeah, we definitely write our own stuff, and then that first album, which we just have on CD, still great, worth a listen, is original. So yeah, we do that, and we play those a lot, and it's always cool when you go play somewhere and people are looking on their phone for like where that song is, and you're like,
Right.
we wrote that. We did that.
That's
So that's
cool.
that's really cool. It's validating. I mean, I guess that's kind of what we're doing is looking for some validation.
Yeah.
And we do that.
and that first album, the cover was designed by Michelle Branson, who has been on this show before.
she
So-
has.
Some of this chain stuff around here was kind of to pay homage back to her doing
Oh,
that.
wow.
Oh, cool.
So cool.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, she had we had written a tune, and she actually had a piece of art. Independent
right, yeah.
of that album and that concept, and it was like when I saw it, I was like, that'd make a great album cover, and we did that and made that happen.
That's
It's cool.
What's the name of that album?
Skeletons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she's very much into the kind
Skulls,
of skeletal
skeletons,
thing
yes.
and the origami stuff, and it worked. It was just really, really cool. So again, just not having to go very far to find everything you need, and not just get something done, but to do it really
And
cool.
she was a teacher at Shelby
At
County
the
High at the
Shelby
time.
High School.
And then, of course, Eric Cousins
Yeah,
went
he
to
was
Shelby
he
County
was a
High.
student, and
Yeah,
now he's a
and
teacher
he's
there.
and
And
he's a
Josh,
drummer.
weren't you a teacher there?
I was a teacher there. Eric was my student. He is now a teacher there, and my child is his student. So a lot of these
It's the circle of
themes
life.
of just everything kind of tying together. that's usually when you know you're onto something good.
Yeah.
When all the ends kind of connect like that. So
right.
just very, very happy to be involved with that. It's just a super cool thing.
It's shocking how much all things come back to Columbiana.
Right.
You know, I haven't been around this area about a few years, and
Yeah, I'm not even
like,
from
wait,
here.
what? Okay.
I just landed here, so
It's
Talent, so much
yeah,
talent.
a lot of positive stuff going on there, and so we're happy to
absolutely.
do that. But
Yeah. Well, good. We're super excited.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great Sunday, nice,
Matinee
relaxed
show.
Mm-hmm.
afternoon.
Absolutely.
yeah, and it's at 4. You should
right.
probably had your nap out.
Exactly.
Truth of the matter is, look,
Right.
if you want it dark and air conditioned, you can buy a ticket to
Yeah.
the show and come take a nap there too.
you
These
get
make great head props.
free beverage as
Yeah.
well.
Right.
You can scroll through your phone, and Josh will think you're looking up one of the songs.
That's right.
Exactly.
So
Trying to
he
figure out
won't
what
be
those-
offended.
Trying to figure out what the numbers on the back of the album are.
Right.
But
I love
Yeah.
it. Well, thanks for joining us. We have you again, Barbara. You're going to have to stop talking so much. So,
know.
I mean, really,
Gosh,
goodness.
just couldn't get this one.
I'm just kidding, y'all.
Sorry. I was trying not to overtalk.
I'm teasing him more than anything. We loved having y'all. Y'all are so fine. It's going to be a good
Well,
show.
where can we find
Yes.
you on the internets?
On the internets.
You have to look it up. I know
You
y'all
have
have
to
an
look it up.
Instagram.
I do have to look at it's www.intermissiontunes.com. There will be a buy link at some point on there. I don't think that's active at the moment, but you can at least go check it out.
That's right.
And we'll have these for sale at the show on October 5th
Yeah.
at 4:00.
And
Get there at
go-
3:30 and buy 3 copies.
And they can follow you on social media.
media.
And
Absolutely.
Social media, Instagram, I think it's intermission.tunes. There's a Facebook page, I think, under the same name. So
Okay.
just start searching.
Yeah,
You'll
intermission.
eventually find them.
Band. You might want to just put music or, yeah.
we're not the intermission band that's in Missoula, Montana, though.
Oh,
We
okay.
got several phone calls about that gig one time. Like, hey, you guys good? What else do you need for setup? And we're like, nothing, man. I can't. I'm not going to be in
not
Kalispell this weekend.
not-
Sorry, that's a long way away.
Sorry about that.
So we've run across those guys
That's
a couple
so
of
funny.
times.
Well, everyone thinks we're Columbiana, Ohio, and they
Yeah.
tag us and stuff all the time on Instagram. I'm like, that's not us.
Kind of not in Ohio.
No.
Not in the least bit.
Never been there, but we're probably cooler. than
Yeah.
Probably. I think we are. Well, we're excited. Please come to the show. You'll have all the links below, and you want to check them out. Come see Sean do his thing on the keys, man. And Aaron Peters and Todd
Aaron.
And Eric.
and Eric. There you go. What a
great
talented bunch.
Very fun.
Yeah. So join them October 5th, 4 p.m. ShelbyCountyArtsCouncil.com and tell them our social medias.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Shelby_County_Arts and at the Arts Council Lady, the Arts Council _ladies. We're now on TikTok at Shelby County Arts Council and YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Just Google us. I'm sure you'll
Yes,
find us.
you know.
We're Shelby County, Alabama, and Columbiana, Alabama, not
Alabama.
Ohio. So.
Yay. All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.